Welcome back to the 2-8. You're looking at a live look at the swings. One of my favorite rides at the Western Idaho Fair. Slowing down a little bit now, but it is KTVB Day at the Western Idaho Fair. That is one of the oldest things that happen in the summer across Idaho. I think it's like 128 years old or something like that. And speaking of history, let's bring back Hunter Funk. Because, Hunter, you have some history to tell us about right now, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know, smells of the fair. I'm going to keep talking about it, but you can smell the history over here. We are joined by John with the Idaho Antique Power and Farm Equipment. I want you to talk about, one, your club, but two, what's behind us, too.
About my club?
Yeah.
It's actually a bunch of old people. And I look at myself like I'm getting old, but it's actually a bunch of collections of farm and tractor engines. And a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll grab those things, fix them up, get them running, and then try to show them at shows. And I know a lot more people are getting older now, and so when they come by here, they look at like, oh, I remember that, or remember this. And so it's good to talk to them, and they actually bring stories up. So it's amazing how they bring those things up in history. So, but anyways, there's a lot of history here, and like for instance, the engine back here, this big one. That one there came from Warren, Idaho, in a mine. So when you look at history, Idaho history is a lot here. A lot of these tractors were on small farms, and that's how everything got started.
I mean, one thing we talk about, too, daylight savings, right? That was because of the farmers and all of the, machines that we see here today. The other thing is these tractors over here. Tell me what's over here. How many are there?
There's over 30 tractors we got here this year, and a lot of them are John Deere's, Oliver's, Massey Ferguson's. They're from like the 20s and 30s. And there were smaller tractors for the smaller farmer that ran 20, 30, 40 acres, 50 acres. And so it made them more productive. As soon as the tractor was introduced and they were able to buy those tractors, they were able to make their farmers bigger and more productive as far as bringing food to the tables.
Okay, and then I do have to ask, what got you into this? What kind of inspired you to be a part of this?
It was my grandfather. I started back in 1976 as a little kid, and I've been collecting engines since then. So all over, a couple years ago, I found an engine up in Indian Valley, Idaho, and it ran a pump that for to supply water for the house before the power got up there.
How old was that?
I think that one's like 1917.
I mean, we're talking about engines that are 100+ years old. It's just incredible to see. I guess for anybody who comes by, what do you hope they get out of this?
A little bit of education. They seem to get pretty excited because it's old technology. And when they look at it, like, how in the world they figured this out, and you explain to them how they run, and they go, okay, I understand now. Because, back then, things were kind of crude when they built them. But when the farmer could have a small engine to grind their corn and shell their corn and grind their wheat and pump their water and saw their firewood, it made things a whole lot better for them. So life actually improved quite a bit in the early 1900s when they started buying these motors.
Yeah. Well, thank you, John, for giving us a ride through some history with the antiques.